I think he has a couple of serious things he wants to talk about. Something about being really clear. Sorry for that. Okay, I was gonna have some fun tonight. I wanted to show you boys and girls our new ride. We can do that next week. Vlad says we have lots and lots of episodes to make. He says the world's going to hell in a handbasket. And he's gonna tell the world. Welcome to another episode of Chats with Vlad. Episode 99. Shifting, changing, and rearranging. Boys and girls, this is a very different episode tonight. No clips, no fancy trips, no slips, because I'm doing this all in one take. Minimal editing. Even my jokes will be freestyle. You don't know this, but every Saturday night when I do these, I usually come up with the material mere hours before I start doing all the videotaping. Indeed, a lot of it's improv a lot of the time. And I like to think I do a good job, don't you? What I want to talk to you about tonight, it's complicated, so I'm going to try. For one thing, recently I stopped playing a game that I'd been playing for a year and a half called Diablo Immortal. I left a great bunch of people behind, unfortunately, but that game was evil, straight taxing on the money. But that was the minimal of things that I had to deal with. I got so busy in a fantasy world, boys and girls, that the real world started slipping away, and that's not good. I actually kicked a friend to the curb because she was more into a wrestling fantasy world than into a real world. What use is it getting caught up in a demon hunting world that's a video game that does nothing in reality but drain your account? No good. Then there's YouTube. No matter what I put up, YouTube's always shadow banning me. Always doing little things, won't let my shorts get seen. Some shorts get seen, other ones, there's no hope in hell. I recently did a Biden / Violent Femmes short where Biden was giving a speech where everything coming out of his mouth was lies. So I played the Violent Femmes, lies on that. Nobody got to see it. It wasn't flagged or anything. It wasn't inappropriate. I didn't even get a copyright on it. They just wouldn't let it be seen. And yet if I put a short up of me eating pizza or something stupid like that, they'll let that one get all kinds of views. 480 views, 14 likes. Look at that nummy pizza. That's what our society has turned to now. It's sad. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Say you're pathetic. And that's why I can't quit. You see, a lot of people may see my visage and they might think, oh my God, that guy's evil, but actually I'm the opposite of evil. Like I said, during the day I do saintly work. I even work for the church. I always give to charities and I try to help whenever possible. I'm neighborly and I love my neighbor. But boys and girls, the rest of the world, as far as I can see, is pretty rotted. Anywhere you see a lot of money, it almost seems like there's guaranteed corruption everywhere. The churches, the banks, but especially the elites. It's always been the elites, boys and girls. Indeed. I'm not evil. This is a mask that I wear to protect my anonymity. I have a family I have to protect, and I don't want them to pay for my mistakes. Now, I'm an old school punk rocker who married an old school goth, and we think that this kind of thing's funny. We don't see it as being evil. A jester with a skull face trying to tell the news, you gotta admit that's kind of funny. All we're trying to do is entertain. Back in our day and age, people didn't take stuff like this so seriously. We had bands like Slipknot and Mushroomhead and Gwar and ICP, and they used to do stuff like this all the time. And in our grandparents' and great-grandparents' age, they had people that would come on dressed up like crazy just to show monster movies. I can't even have a little bit of fun right now. You see, the left totally accepts what I'm doing, artistically speaking. They just don't like the fact that all my political viewpoints lean hard right. Yes, I am a Trump supporter. Yes, I do believe in the Constitution. Let me tell you right now, boys and girls, we don't live in a democracy. A democracy is when you have the elites governing you and you have to do what they say. They're trying to turn it into a democracy. We live in a republic. And a republic is where the people have the power and the people say what does and does not happen. Right now, what you have on your hands is a republic defending itself against this uprising democracy. Do you want the elites governing every bit of your life? And when I say every bit, I mean they want to govern how much water you use, what you eat, where you can go, how you breed, and how much you can breed, or if you can even breed. Does a democracy sound good to you still? It sounds like another form of shackles, another form of servitude, another form of slavery. And I don't know about you boys and girls, but Uncle Vlad ain't nobody's slave. Oh, indeed not. I'm a very free spirit, as you can see. And that's why I do things the way I do. So before you even consider me evil, look at what I do. Listen to my words. See my deeds and my actions. And look at my profile, because if you look at what I'm about truth, justice, and the American way. And by God, I plan to practice it until the day they pry my Joker stick out of my dead corpse's fingers. Speaking of which, I believe it's time for some funny ha-ha. So, boys and girls, let's begin. There was once this little boy. Well, I say little, he was actually 18, but he was going from being a boy to being a man. His name was Johnny. And Johnny's dad sent him to the local whorehouse, but not with money, with a rubber duck. Now this really confused Johnny, but he went with it. He traveled all the way across town to the madam's whorehouse, and he went in and he gave the madam the rubber ducky. She looked at him, shrugged, and then sent him upstairs. He went upstairs with his rubber ducky, and he went to the last room. The woman in there looked at him confused when he handed her the rubber duck, but she shrugged. She was like, whatever. And they did it. Oh boy, did they do it like crazy. Johnny rocked that girl's boots like that girlie's never had her boots rocked. So good, in fact, that she begged him, please, take your duck back, Johnny, and I'll bang you all over again. And Johnny, liking what he had just experienced, he was totally down with the clown. So, Johnny left the whorehouse, having been laid twice, and with his duck, and he started going across town, back home. But before he could go home, a truck almost hit him, and it did run over his duck. And Johnny just looked at the duck, and the truck driver, being in a hurry, felt bad for the kid, so he threw him a 10 spot, and off he went. When Johnny got home, his father asked him, "How'd it go? Are you a man yet, son?" And Johnny just stood there and looked confused. He's like, "What's wrong, son? Didn't you get laid? Didn't you become a man?" And Johnny said, "Well, Dad, I got a fuck for a duck. I got a duck for a fuck. And then I got $10 for a fucked up duck." Indeed. How about this one, boys and girls? There was the scientist, and he was way out in an Arctic outpost. He went to the local Eskimo bar. I think they call them Inuits now. And he went into the Inuit bar, and he talked to the bartender, and he said, "Bartender, give me a whiskey." The bartender looked at him and said, "I cannot serve you." And the scientist is like, "Why can't you serve me?" And the bartender says, "You're not Inuit. You must become Eskimo and warrior first." And the scientist's like, "Well, hell, I'm pretty sure I can do that. What do I have to do?" So the bartender tells him he has to go out and shoot a polar bear, and then he must make love to an Eskimo woman, and then and only then will he become an Inuit. So the scientist's like, "I can do that." And he goes outside, and 5 minutes later, you hear the most god-awful roar that you've ever heard. 5 minutes after that, the scientist comes in with a happy smile on his sedated face and says, "Now all I have to do is shoot me an Eskimo woman." Inuit woman. Well, boys and girls, the night grows thin and dawn approaches, and I must go. But before I leave you, I want to leave you with one more thought. Because episode 100 I plan on making special one way or the other. But with that being said, this episode, there's one more thing I want you to think about before I let you go. Every Saturday night, I spend hours doing this, trying to entertain people. Every Saturday, not only do I not get paid for what I do, I have to pay for the privilege of trying to entertain you, of trying to inform you, and trying to get you to think about it. And to this date, I have gotten several people that lean far left to consider moderate stances or even go more towards the right. So I consider my efforts worth it. But just know this, boys and girls. I don't get paid jack, and I don't get paid shit for what I do. As a matter of fact, Jack left town. I do this for my love of my community. That's why I showcase Myrtle Beach. I do this for the love of society, because I don't want to lose you guys. But most of all, I do this for America, because we can still save her. So please, help me to help you. And think about it.
Why do you